G'day, this is Cable 54 and you're watching how I made an album solely out of Korg Volcas. Alright, g'day, how you doing? This is Cable from Cable 54. What's up? So this is the next little video in the series of videos that I'm making to describe how I made my last album, Volca Galaxies. Cool. So we've been through kind of like in the first video some of the inspiration behind the album and why I wanted to do it, and then after that we talked about, I talked about the setup that I used and why I used the setup, and then we talked a little bit about the composition and how I made the songs. And in this video we're going to be talking about playing live and how playing live actually really shaped the album and was a really big deal in how the album ended up sounding and how, you know, everything about the album. It was really all about playing live. So this video is going to be all about that, and then of course future videos we're going to get into recording and mixing and all that, but today it's all about playing live. So let's get into it. Alright, so why was it important for me to play live? Well, you know, I think the first thing is that you know, I really enjoyed going to live gigs. You know, back, you know, whether it was like going out to see rock music, like with guitars and everything, or whether it was seeing more synth-based music and live music. You know, I really enjoy going to see live gigs, and I felt like as a musician, not playing live was something that was, you know, it was a problem. Like I kind of felt like I was, you know, kind of a bit of a fake, or like a little bit like, you know, I wasn't doing everything. Like I was a little bit scared, I guess, of playing live. And so that, because I really enjoyed going to see it, I really, that was a really big driver for me, to actually play live. The other thing, another aspect of why I wanted to play live so much was that I knew that it could really shape the songs. I knew that putting the songs out there in a live environment in front of people would be really beneficial to the songs. Like I would work, I would be able to understand what kind of worked really well and what didn't work. When other people were listening, other people were giving me feedback. You know, if I played a song and everyone left the room, like it would be a pretty good sign that the song was maybe no good. And you know, I think sometimes as artists or musicians, we are not necessarily the best judge of our own songs or of the songs that we make. So it's good to get that feedback from other people, whether it's in a live environment or whatever. Another aspect that I really, of why I wanted to play live is that all my projects in the past, all my musical projects have been studio, only in the studio, no live. So I haven't been part of any bands or anything like that. I played one really crappy little acoustic guitar gig once, but it was just not very good. And so these were all things that were kind of driving me to wanting to perform live with the Volcas. I could really see how that was a thing that that I could do, and that you know, a lot of the marketing with Korg is about playing live. I'm not necessarily performing, but really playing live, and I wanted to perform live in front of people, in bars and clubs, and do that. So that's really what it was about. Alright, cool. So then, you know, after I decided that I was going to play live, it was really about like booking the gig and then doing it. So, you know, it was kind of scary, but I found a venue that has like a little electronic music night in my town. It was really small. It was pretty chilled out type of atmosphere. And so, you know, I just booked it and, you know, went along, and of course I practiced a lot beforehand, and I was really nervous. These are the photos from, I'm pretty sure these are the first gig. If it's not the first one, it's the first or second one. So you can see here, like, just playing, and you know, one of the things was I just practiced a lot beforehand. That was really important. And you know, practiced exactly how I was going to play. So I practiced the individual songs, but then the songs in order, and practiced for the whole kind of, like, I think it went for about 50 minutes, the performance. I wanted to talk about something in that last photo. You can see right here, this little kind of document right here. So what this is, and I'll also mention the phone, why I have that out when I'm playing. So what this little document is it's basically the little live performance and composition document that I made for myself. So it's where I kind of kept track of all my songs and all my compositions. So I'm going to go in and show you that right now. Cool. So hopefully you can see it right here on the screen, okay? So this is basically what it looks like, and you can see when I printed it out, this is what it looks like here, but on the screen, this is kind of like what it looks like, so I'm going to explain it. Basically, the concept for this is that the Volcas, you can't name tracks on there. There's only kind of like M1, M2, M3 for the different memory banks, right? And I was finding it difficult when I was kind of composing to remember what songs were called, how long songs were supposed to go for, and also the progression that I had, like what part of the what part of the song starts first. Is it the kick drum and then the bass comes in and then the hi-hats, or is it something different? Okay, so that's why I created this document. Okay, so let's go through it. So basically across this way are songs. Okay, so you can see Viper Station, Ballet Statique, Spark, Quick Jam, and Empire Files, Uberman, and Son of a Snake Oil Salesman. And this document was a work in progress, so it changed a lot over time. It was really messy. And you can see some of the kind of like the earlier versions from back here were different, like back here there's like a lot more songs and it's a bit more, it's less fleshed out. But let's go back to here where you can see it properly, okay? So this was kind of like the ultimate version of it. So basically, here's some of the key information. So here's the song name, right? And so here I put in, like just here, I put in what memory banks is it stored in. So it's stored in M3, right? So that's memory 3 on all of the Volcas, right? So I knew what was saved, I knew where this song was, right? Then on here, the tempo, okay, obviously, and it's an important part of the song, and it doesn't get programmed into the Volcas. So I had the tempo there, right? Another one was, another little thing that I wrote down was the description of the song, because I just sometimes, especially early on in the composition process, I needed something that would remind me of, what the song is, okay? So here also I had the key of the song, so that was also important when I would sometimes play the Volcas live as well. I would know what key the song was in. That was important. And then here I had the progression of the song. So what happens first? So the song starts with the FM and the kick drum, and then bring in the bass, the VCO1, and then the VCO2, and then the kind of like blues transition part. And I didn't have to explain a lot, because once I kind of saw that, I knew what I was talking about and I knew what I was trying to say. So but it was just really helpful for me so that I wouldn't forget things, okay? And then, I would also have things like, what setting the Volca keys was on. So I had it, octave, the octave setting on the Volca keys, right? And so, I had that kind of information for each of the songs here, you can see. With this track here, Spark of Life, this is one, you can see I had the memory, it was saved on memory 4, but then on the FM, it was saved on memory 14 to 16, because, the FM has, excuse me, the FM has more memory in it, and it also allows you to chain patterns, so that's why it's 4 on the kick, it's and memory 4 on the bass, the beats and the keys, and then memory 14 to memory 16 on the FM. So that's kind of what it was all about. And then here, this kind of little column was another column that was really important live-wise, okay? So, my set went for about somewhere between about 50 minutes, somewhere around there, okay? So this provided a little, I had my phone out while I was playing, right? And the phone would just be on a stopwatch that was just running, okay? So I'd start the stopwatch and then start performing. And so then, the very first track, it starts at 0. But then once I got to about 5 minutes into the track, I knew that I should be getting to about the next song, okay? And then once I got to about 20 minutes into the set, I knew that I should be about on this song. Now, I wasn't super strict with that, but it was just a bit of a guideline, because, you know, when I was playing live, when you're playing live, it's easy to lose track of time. So yeah, that was this little document. Eventually, you know, I didn't need to remember all this, or I didn't need to have this all in a document. I could pretty much remember it. So it kind of, the whole document got cut down to a much simpler version, which was this one here. You can see, just with the track names, the memory banks, and the tempo. Most of the time I could remember all this stuff, but yeah, if I ever forgot anything, I could just kind of like look over and just be like, oh yeah, that song, it's you know, in memory bank 5, and it's 115 beats per minute. So I felt like that was a really important part of the whole performing live process. Okay, cool. So when it comes down to transporting all the stuff, transporting all the gear, all the equipment, the volcas and everything, I've had a couple of people ask me about it, so I thought that I'd make this little part of the video for that. So basically what I did was I decided I got this little suitcase. It was really basic. So it was actually my girlfriend's suitcase, and it kind of just happened to be just the right size, like this old suitcase. And you can see here, like, there's nothing really special about it. Yeah, I've got everything packed in here. So I'm doing it now. Yeah, and so I actually use beach towels as kind of like the as the padding for everything. So you can see there, you know, I always took an extra power cord, and yeah, so you know, the beach towels were actually really soft and really helpful. There's, you know, the little performance thing that I was talking about before. Yeah, so you can see how I had the volcas kind of like set out in there. They're all kind of like really nice and snug and everything. And then I had I had all the cords in those little, all the cables and cords in those little bags. Yeah, so you could see they were really, really helpful with keeping everything kind of organized. Yeah, and then of course the precious volcas. Yeah, so this is kind of like the little bag that I used. It was really easy, and you know, I never had anything break. Everything kind of kept pretty easy and pretty clear. I definitely wouldn't take this on, I wouldn't put it on a flight or anything. I would just, you know, this was just for me when I was walking around, or putting the stuff in my car, and then taking it to the gig and carrying it into the thing, and that was it. And those snap up lock bags, they were really, really helpful as well for keeping all the cables organized. So when it comes down to the benefits of playing live, I think that was something that was, you know, I played live for a reason, and you know, I think there were a lot of benefits to playing live. The first one I would say is that the songs got better. Okay, like the playing live really forced me to practice a lot. Now I probably played once every 2 weeks or so. I'll perform live, and I'd always practice quite a lot. So that performing and practicing at home really helped the songs just get a lot better. So that was the first thing. The next kind of thing is that a lot of the shit songs, like the songs that I play that people wouldn't like them, or I wouldn't like them, I would kick them out, right? I'd kick them out of the set and make new ones. So it kind of, playing live put more pressure on me to make the whole thing good. And I felt like that was really, really helpful for me, and just helpful for the quality of the whole album. The third little benefit is that I quickly realized as well that with the songs, you know, with the very first gig, I played the songs individually. So I played the first song, and then, you know, I stopped, and you know, there was silence for like 10 seconds, and then I played the next song, and then there was silence for 10 seconds, and that was shit. You know, everyone, one of the main feedback from the early shows, people were like, you've got to have it all flowing together. I think that was mainly because I was playing live at at places that usually have DJs, which of course have continuous music. So what I had to do was I had to really learn to string my songs together with the Volcas, so there would be no gaps in sound, and merge the songs together in cool ways. That required a lot of practice, but it actually, it really made the whole music a lot better and more enjoyable. And then I decided to transfer that whole idea of having continuous music and the songs just flowing into each other, decided to transfer that to the album. And I think that that was a really cool feature part of the album that makes it sound, I think, unique. So that was another really important thing that I got from playing live. The other thing was just confidence. I really got a lot of confidence from playing live, because I'd have people come up to me afterwards and they'd be like, "Man, that was awesome! Like, what are you doing there? It looks crazy." I'd have people like during the shows sometimes like trying to talk to me while I was performing, and I really just got a lot of confidence from the feedback of other people, because I hadn't played that much live before, so that was really, really helpful for me. I think the last thing I'll mention about playing live is that I actually got a lot of new friends out of it as well. So I kind of became part of a little scene here in my city, in Melbourne, where different electronic musicians playing live, and that was really, really helpful for me. And it's just cool making new friends, discovering new music, checking out new ways of performing. So that was really, really, really cool as well, and probably one of the biggest benefits of playing live. Cool. All right. So we're at the end of the video. That's the live video. I hope it's been informative for you. I hope it's been helpful for you in terms of showing you how I put together my album, and how playing live kind of influenced that. I hope it's kind of been inspiring. If you've liked it, feel free to, if you want to listen to the music, feel free to go over to Bandcamp. You can listen for free if you want. And if you really feel like you got something out of it, you can go and buy the album. It's pretty cheap, and I'd really, really appreciate it. Otherwise you can check it out on you can check out the Facebook page, and subscribe or like it or whatever you want. Cool. So I'll be back soon with the next video. That's going to be all about recording, and then we'll get into mixing after that, and whatever. All right, cool. Thanks a lot, and I'll thank you, and I'll see you later.